What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, we heard former WBC featherweight world champion, superstar boxer, Mr. Gary Russell Jr. give his breakdown of the highly anticipated, undisputed welterweight showdown between undefeated, unified three-belt WBC, WBA, IBF welterweight world champion superstar boxer, who is widely considered to be top two, if not number one, definitely top five best pound-for-pound fighters in the world, and Errol "The Truth" Spence Jr. 28 wins, no loss, no draw, 22 big wins by way of knockout. He is 32 years of age, 5'9.5" with a 72-inch arm reach, and undefeated three-division world champion, former junior welterweight undisputed world champion, currently the reigning WBO, World Boxing Organization welterweight world champion, who is widely considered by many to be the number one best pound-for-pound fighter in the world, in Terence Crawford. 38 wins, no loss, no draw, 29 big wins by way of knockout. He is 35 years of age, 5'8" with a 74-inch arm reach. With that said, Mr. Gary Russell Jr., who has a very, very high pedigree in the sport of boxing. He's a southpaw himself. Gary Russell Jr., at ring IQ, one of the best fighters in the sport of boxing, but one of the best boxing minds in the sport of boxing. Okay, more importantly, in this case, one of the best boxing minds in the sport of boxing. Okay, he has a very high ring IQ in the ring, but he has a very high ring IQ outside the ring as well. So Gary Russell Jr., 31 wins, 2 losses, no draws, 18 wins by way of knockout. He is 34 years of age, 5'4" with a 64-inch arm reach. Okay, so with that said, Gary Russell, he breaks down the fight, right? And Gary Russell explains that Terence Crawford has more tools in the toolbox than Errol Spence does, right? But Terence Crawford has defensive deficiencies that's going to show up, and that's going to be the reason why Gary Russell is picking Errol Spence to win the fight. Gary Russell also explained that, that Errol Spence doesn't have any special effects, right? There's nothing special about him that gets you the ooh and an ahhing, okay? He says that, he's very, very, vanilla with his game plan, but he's very, very fundamentally sound and very technical, right? Which gets people to always compare him to the Tim Duncan of the sport of boxing, okay? He's the Tim Duncan of the sport of boxing because, Tim Duncan is an NBA Hall of Fame legend, world champion, but there was no flash and flare about Tim Duncan, right? Tim Duncan was, a guy who, Tim Duncan is technically sound. He's fundamentally sound, but Tim Duncan is not, there's not a lot of flash and flare about Tim Duncan, right? And so with that said, many people view Tim Duncan, as, a guy who just gets the job done. Hard hat, lunch pail, just gets the job done. He ain't gonna bring no special effects, no flash, no flares. He just gonna get the job done, right? And so with that said, that's the comparison people give to Errol Spence, right? No flash, no flare. He just gets the job done, right? And so with that said, Errol Spence, is a southpaw. Terence Crawford is viewed as a fighter that switches from southpaw to orthodox, but Terence Crawford is a naturally orthodox right-handed fighter. Okay, Gary Russell is a natural southpaw, and Errol Spence is a natural southpaw. But Terence Crawford, the majority of his victories have come as Terence Crawford is a southpaw. Okay, and so Terence Crawford is viewed as the more versatile fighter, as I've been saying. Okay, And that's what Gary Russell was saying. He has more tools in the toolbox, but Errol Spence, work rate, his fundamentals, his ability to stay calm, cool, and collective, put a lot of pressure on his opponents, you know, mentally and physically, is going to be the difference because of Terence Crawford's defensive irresponsibilities, right? And so these are things that I have pointed to, okay, in the past that get me to believe that Errol Spence could be the victor in this fight, right? And he stated that, you know, Terence Crawford gets hit all the time in his fights. And, you know, Terence Crawford does get hit a lot in his fights, right? And now people will say, well, Errol Spence gets hit a lot in his fights as well, right? Yes, Errol Spence does get hit a lot in his fights, but the response when Errol Spence gets hit compared to the response when Terence Crawford gets hit is what everybody points to. When Terence Crawford was hit by Yuriorkis Gamboa, his body language. When he was hit by Igor Kavalauskas, his body language in those two fights is what everybody points to and says, you know, well, that's the reason that Errol Spence is going to, you know, be the victor, okay? Because Errol Spence is naturally the bigger, stronger guy. And so, as Mr. Gary Russell Jr. told me, what's going to happen when a big guy, you know, hits Terence Crawford? If he has that type of response and that type of body language when he's getting hit by smaller guys, what's going to be his response when he gets hit by bigger guys, right? And Errol Spence, you know, Gary Russell said that he believes that Errol Spence is going to eventually trap Terence Crawford on the ropes or in a position where Terence Crawford is not going to be able to weather off Errol Spence's onslaught, his physicality, and, you know, ultimately that's going to get, you know, that's going to be a problem for Terence Crawford and possibly could get a stoppage, right? And again, like I stated, in order for Terence Crawford to win this fight against Errol Spence, I think he has to show the versatility, the skill set that he did when he fought against Victor Posto, when he fought against Jose Benavidez Jr. He has to show that versatility. He has to box. He has to move, not stay stationary, not stay flat-footed, but he has to box. He has to move, okay? Use angles, okay? Give Errol Spence different looks. Cause Errol Spence to restart. Make him pause, okay? Make him think in the ring, okay? That's what I believe that Terence Crawford has to do. He has to make Errol Spence think while he's inside the ring, okay? He can't allow Errol Spence, you know, to just come forward and be aggressive, you know, as he normally is. No, he has to make Errol Spence completely think while he's inside the ring. He has to make him stop and restart, okay? Which gives Terence Crawford time to think in the ring, right? If you do what Yordenis Ugas did, is try to fight fire with fire and just stand there and trade with him, and with his work rate and his stamina and his durability, you're gonna lose. Plain and simple, right? So Terence Crawford has to use the versatility that he has, you know, the ability. He has extremely long arms. He has power in both hands, ambidextrous, okay? He can switch from southpaw to orthodox. He got to change the channel on Errol Spence. Give him different pictures to look at, okay? He can't allow Errol Spence to watch the same movie and know the ending, because if he knows the ending, right, he's going to beat you to the punch, right? So with that said, Terence Crawford has to, you know, he's going to jump the pass. If Errol Spence knows the ending, he's going to jump the pass and you're in trouble, right? So you have to, and that being Terence Crawford, he has to change the look. He has to change the view, right? He has to change the channel on Errol Spence. You know, he can't stay flat-footed in front of him. Got to move. Got to change levels on him. Fight on the back foot, because Terence Crawford has the ability to do that. He has the ability to fight on the back foot. He has the ability to fight, you know, coming forward, laterally. You know, he has the ability to do all those things, and he's going to have to use all the tools in the toolbox to get the job done. And if anybody can do it, it would be Terence Crawford. So, you know, Gary Russell Jr. is a very, very high ring IQ. I know people will say, well, Gary Russell Jr. and Terence Crawford got a rivalry, and they're not like they don't like each other. So Gary Russell Jr. people going, no, Gary Russell Jr. strategically broke down what he thinks and how he thinks the fight is going to play out. So unfortunately, don't look like it's going to happen this year. So let's see what happens moving forward. But that's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button, drop a comment in the comment section, let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to Black Media Raw. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.